You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Slay the Princess is a visual novel horror game where you play as a hero, led through the woods and instructed to slay a princess by a narrator. The game is available on PC. Atmosphere. There is no describing any one specific version of events to fully encapsulate the feelings the game can provide, as something both surreal, abstract, horrifying, beautiful, and existentially devoid of logic or reason. You're a hero, and the narrator tells you the princess must die, but due to the visual novel aspect of the game, you can ask as many questions, make as many choices, push and pull at the world around you, and fight and struggle against the inevitable. You can win, you can lose, but you'll be back, with more voices in your head to validate or invalidate your choices, and make you question what's happening. The princess doesn't want this either and will argue with you against what you're being told, with the internal conflict making a good chunk of the game.
I feel empty, don't you?
What is right and wrong when you're being told you're being lied to from both sides? There are decisions that sprout from single choices you made that lead to the singular house with a basement, taking the form of a watery grave that houses a ghost and a bloated corpse, to a castle of pure white that barely contains the goddess inside, her power beyond your understanding. The shapes change, but the results stay the same. The feelings shift from awe, infatuation, and desire to fear, repulsion, and feral anger, and it's all down to the way you play. But once you step past the choices to the end, it becomes apparent there was no escaping any of this for any of you, perpetually circling the universe that is each other. Behind the charade is a poignant emptiness. This was all made for you. No one atmosphere or anything could describe something that changes so radically, but the overall experience of Slay the Princess is something special once it touches you. That's one Harry Mason. Scares. The game's scares are almost entirely conceptual, though one of the main things that could be considered frightening is how the visual novel is able to inflict choice paralysis with your interactions with the princess. One wrong move results in your life or hers being put at risk, though this pales into comparison to how frightening a lot of the ideas presented by Slay the Princess can be, how predetermined your future is, how hopeless fighting against it feels. Your decisions have been warped and messed with, and each follow-up to an initial attempt is a strange and cruel punishment on your own actions or inactions, and the feeling that you messed up, or the feeling of moral ambiguity. Some aspects of the game's routes feel detestable to consider, but maybe it's a way out. Ultimately, the concepts are more horrifying than straight up frightening. The horror comes from a different place, the feeling in the back of your mind that you're torturing something, whether that's yourself, the princess, or the world. That's 2 Harry Masons. Sound design. The game's soundtrack is mesmerizing, from ethereal vocal pieces that haunt into forever to sickly sweet piano tunes and dark abandoned ambient pieces. There's so much feeling to everything, tugging on the heartstrings as the game's phenomenal voice acting layers over it with extremely well-written, powerful dialogue. It's hard to really appreciate how the game uses music, voice acting, and some minor sound effects, but does so well with them that it feels like it's something special. At the end of the day, it's a visual novel, and it didn't, nor could it, utilize any more than this. Not that it needed to. That's 3 Harry Masons.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Gore. The game's gore can be both horrifying and powerful, with the needless murder, the tearing of the flesh, the princess sawing her own head off, but it can also abstract into some form of art, with a ribcage explodes like a blooming flower, or pulsating masses of princesses all clamoring over each other. The gore is never needless, and with the game's colourless aesthetic, the red really stands out. That's 4 Harry Masons. Story. You're a hero. You're here to save the world by slaying the princess. That's what the narrator tells you. It's not important how or why she will do this, just know that it's going to happen. But you can't. You need to know. Why are you doing this? The game pushes you to push it, questioning everything around you, yourself, your goals, and the various constructs and things that repeat and loop, that deteriorate and change, the new voices that arrive and continue to muddy the waters, providing more speculation but no answers. The princess herself will converse and ask you questions that you don't have the answers to either. Why are you doing this? Why do you have to? You don't know anything definitively, and when you reach the end of a cycle, the world breaks down around you and you're whisked off to the ethereal, where the infinite resides, and even it doesn't know what's happening. But this somehow never paints the game as something bleak or hopeless. Maybe it's something simple, maybe it's something complicated, maybe you're an actor in a play whose role can't be ignored. The narrator makes it hard for you to figure out anything. The story expands and expands, providing more riddles and reasons to keep probing the distant light at the end of an impossibly long train tunnel. There are so many dialogue options for you to keep pushing, and many, many possibilities, that even if there is no answer, the journey is still really something. Making the final score 5 out of 5 Harry Masons. There aren't very many games that feel as special as Slay the Princess feels, as something that can be both horrifying and abstractly divine. I won't pretend I understood it, but I felt it. Again, I'd like to remind you the whole thing is down to my opinion in horror games. If you don't share this opinion, then that's cool, I get it. I'd like to point out that whilst I killed the princess, I also did not kill the princess, and advise you both do and don't. There will be more horror reviews in the pipeline, and thanks for watching. And always go check out Bumps in the middle of the night. Peace.